I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I participated in the workshops today. Yes, yes. All right. Lilou and Ronnie did an excellent job today. If you guys had a chance to witness what they were doing and what they've done and how their careers, if you follow their careers, you guys understand that the work, it's endless and it never stops. On the end, just introducing, these guys don't need an introduction, but we've got Roxrite on the end. Gotta show some love for Roxrite. We got Lilou in the middle. We've got, last but not least, Ronnie right here on the end. All right, so as we start getting through, this is for you guys. You guys all get a chance to get front row seats. You get a chance to actually talk with them firsthand with anything. I don't think there's anything off topic. And really, it's going to be the way they answer the questions anyway. So they're professionals in many different ways, so I don't think you can break them. But I've got a mic back here. I'll come to you guys. They're going to be sharing the mic up there. So if you guys could do me a favor and hold the mic away from your face and try hard not to put your big smackers on it. We're going through some times and we don't want to pass nothing to nobody. So if you got juicy mouthed, keep it really far away from it. All right. I'm going to start it off. And my question is for Roxrite. Roxrite, scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate the city of Austin, Texas, and your trips here, and the people you've spent time with here? And I'm gonna stop right there. You got a mic, Rock? All right.
I mean, I came out here in what, 09 the first time?
First time.
Yeah. Ever since, I've been coming back. Every time I come back, it's always a good time. Always a blast. Everybody's very welcoming. The scene here is very, you guys show a lot of love. It's really dope to see the energy, the vibes, just everything that you guys do when I come here that I've seen has been a great time. I don't know, it would be a 10.
A 10.
I like it. I'll give you that $5 later. Moving the mic around, just a show of hands, just pop a finger, pop a hand, look at me. Hey! Introduce yourself.
I'm Juan from Mexico, and my question is for Ronnie. And as you were saying in your workshop that you were doing all this intricate stuff, and you were like sometimes losing because judges didn't have the eye for it, how did you balance staying with your intricate stuff and your style, and also evolving so people could have that eye, and you know what I mean?
I just did exactly, I just evolved. So I just made sure that, like I said, in the judges panel you always have like the traditionalist, you have someone that's more evolved, a powerhead, or someone that's more into footwork. So just being able to cover all those bases, but also sticking to your style. So I was doing all of that. I was trying to incorporate forward, power moves and freezes, but at the same time, sticking to the DNA of my style. So don't let it go, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, even if I was losing, like I was still shining, because it's not always about, like I said earlier, it's, you go in with intentions to win, but not with expectations. So if you continue to keep that mentality, then you won't give up. It's usually the people that always expect to win and they get discouraged and they quit, And that's normal as well. But yeah, just stick to your style. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one more thing, like, how did you manage to take the loss, Because I've always seen in breaking that losing or winning is subjective, not like any other like sport, that when you lose and you have the score right there. But in breaking, it can be like, oh, I got robbed, or oh, like, I didn't like the judge's decision. How did you take the loss so you could take it, like personal, but not in a bad way, but like in a good way, so you can develop your style more and still balance with that correction?
Yeah, to be honest, like in the evolution of my style and my career in breaking, I never looked at winning as like, end all if I don't win. And I competed against Rox and Lilou, won, lost, but for me it was always about the experience I would take from these battles, and learning. And you always hear that saying, you never lose, you just learn, right? And that's like the best mentality to have, because you would never get discouraged. You always look at every experience as a win.
Definitely. Good questions. Good questions. Moving the mic around. Right there. You guys give it up for Houston, Texas's own Havoc Choral representative, Mr. Marley Marl. Marlon.
This question's for Lilou. Man, one of my favorite things about people that have high platforms are the people that stay humble and people that share with, break bread with the people. And there's footage of you, especially my favorite footage is you in El Salvador.
Yes.
And listen, if you don't know about El Salvador, it's one of these places that, they paint the picture of it's dangerous, it's gangs, and you were like, take me to the people, I want to dance with the people. And you go to the barrios and you go to the hoods and, yo, I want you to talk a little bit about that experience simply because, when you go to, if you get blessed enough to travel to these different places, they take you to the safe places, but then there's the other places. And I love that you're such a man of the people that you go to those places. And to me, that spoke to my heart because that's how I see traveling. Like you could go to all these places, but if you're not around the people, if you don't break bread with the people, then you've never been anywhere. Can you kind of?
Yes, I will talk. Thank you, Marlon. So yes, like since I dance since many years, I compete in many competition. I did a lot of stuff, but I mean to be back to the real, it's my also my where my inspiration came from. As a Arab guys growing in the Arabic hood from France, where all the b-boys came from. It seemed like if you go to big city, b-boys came from like, let's say, bad situation and stuff, and the energy is there. And when I'm traveling, I'm sleeping in nice hotel and stuff, it's cool. But this is not the life of the local dancers, So always when I'm traveling, I try to get contact with dancers and I say like, yo, bring you where you stay, let me go eat in the restaurant you're chilling with your friends, because this is where like you will feel and you will learn like from them, you will not learn from them from the hotel or from nice restaurant, but to chill with the guys and I'm with you for a few days. I will do the same life and I want to do a video with you guys. I want to use my light to put the light on you guys because like this is hardcore and this is like where you're from and this is where you are, and I like it.
The people in the back.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was like also like for tell you a story and about traveling, I will just give you a few numbers. So I've been in 105 countries. I love traveling. I just fly from Brazil this night. I was in Brazil this week, finished BC1. I stay 1 week alone there to chill with the b-boys. I went to the favela for a few days, chilling with the boys there, make a video there to show all these things. And I went to Philippines also, to crazy places, Navotas and the favela, the hood, the slum. I'm in hand to the cemetery, and the people living like on the cemetery, like really. So I went there with some dancers, film there. The people are dancing there. They have like the free class lessons. So it's dope to go there. For me, it's like when you know the country and know more the people.
Come on.
So thanks, Marlon.
Yes. Appreciate you, Marlon. Appreciate you, Lilou. Next up. Show a hand, face. Look at me and blink twice. Coming right here in the back. He doesn't have his wheels of steels in front of him, but much love to all the DJs in the house, y'all.
Most definitely. Thank you. DJ Berlin here in Austin, local producer, turntablist with College of Hip Hop Knowledge. Just wanted to, I want to ask all of you guys actually, like, because as DJ, it's kind of the same thing or whatever. Like your influences. Who do you think is like the best b-boy or b-girl that you guys think in your career? Who's influenced you the most, or who do you think has really got just one of the best styles you've seen personally from each of you?
For me, Ken Swift. To me, he's the epitome of breaking and the idea of style and influence for more than going almost on 5 decades now of influence, that's untouched. So to me, that's why he's the greatest.
Me, I will say one name, B-Boy Kemel, because it was one of the first guys I love the crazy attitude also from US, and I'm from Europe, and we don't have like back in the day, we don't have all the information, we don't have all the tape, the VHS of what's happened here, and we all get like after, like 1 or 2 years after. And what I say Kemel is because like I started in 1997, and when he came up in Battle of the Year, I think it was 1997 or 8, you know. And like in Europe, it was like, yo, he's these guys from US and stuff. So cool. It was great influence in Europe also.
All right, I got a few. So one of my main guys is B-Boy Remind from Style Elements crew. And clap. Ivan, the urban action figure, who pretty much helped mold the breaking scene in Vegas, taught his character. And back when I started in '93, I was a powerhead, so I really looked up to Jazzy J from Renegades, and also Wicked, who lives out here. He used to be a powerhead, and a lot of people don't know that, but yeah, these are some of my influences growing up.
Big ups, big ups. Appreciate you, Berlin. All right. Sure. Murder. In the house, y'all. All right, brother.
Yo, so this question is, as like we break and we get older and stuff, we have responsibilities, you know what I'm saying? How can we balance like our young like entrepreneur, like we want to start a business, we want to do something, but we still want to break and we still want to really be in it and not like leave and have to come back and then rebuild and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? What's some good tips to still be in the community, or like kind of just stay focused with it, you know, because I feel like everybody who breaks thinks about it every single day, you know, like there's not one day where you're chilling with your family or your girl or something, you're like, oh shit, I'm tired, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, what advice do you have with that?
I would say structure. You gotta add some structure to your life and create some kind of schedule, because if you're gonna be running a business and you still wanna be active, you have to be active training and you have to be consistent with it the same way that you're gonna be in your business. And I think that's why a lot of B-boys and B-girls struggle creating that balance with the profession of maybe a career path job and then doing this on the side. If you wanna just do this for fun and be what it is, I think that's more possible, because to become pro at this is really takes a lot of work, and it's a small percentage that will make it. It's like NBA players. It's a super small percentage that makes it pro. And breaking, you could do stuff, but to be full pro at it, it's gonna be hard. But if you're just doing it for fun, yeah, it's just creating that balance, creating that time and space for yourself to be able to go to practice, enjoy it, and just be okay with that. You know, till I was 26, I worked, and I knew that this is what I did. I would work and go to practice and go to battle on the weekends, but that was it. I didn't think that, okay, I'm gonna one day be traveling all over the place and getting paid to do this to the level that I got to. You know, I was doing it a bit, but not to this level. Now I'm like, okay, what was it that I was doing? I just took it for fun. I just love battling, I love the dance, and I just developed a craft for that. So yeah, just find that balance and structure that in your life, and time and schedule and stuff like that could help.
Definitely. All right, all right. Show a hand in the back. Anyone in the back? All right. Here we go. Here we go. We'll be right back to you. You were first, man. First up. We always put you in the back anyway.
This is a question for actually everybody that's here, including Marlon and Omar. The question is because I hear a lot of people, and I've been asked too, and they keep saying like, oh, this person won because they have a name or because they're known or whatever. And I'm asking this question just because I want everybody to hear it. And from y'all, like, everybody works to get to that point, and I just wanted y'all share your experience with that. Like, that mentality is I'm not saying it's wrong, but there's something that they're not looking at, and I want to ask you guys, what do you think it is? Why do people think that way when obviously you were there at one point when you didn't have a name, and what was y'all's approach?
I think these things sometimes maybe happen, you know, and you say, but it's also the easy way to think like this, you know. People are like, okay, these guys have a name, so smoke him. It will be easier, you know. But also you think on the same thing, but on the inverse. Okay, these guys have a name, but he didn't did enough of what we know of him, so he get lose. Also, this thing happened. It's happened also to me, and the guy say, yo, but we know your skills, but you didn't did like crazy today. I say, okay, but I did enough for beat that guys. You know, that's why I say, we need to judge at the moment. Doesn't care about the name or, you know, I can have a big name and lose against you today and beat you tomorrow and lose against after tomorrow. You know what I mean? So this is my answer.
No, so I'm just gonna elaborate on what Lilou was saying. You have to be undeniable, right? Going into battle. If you leave that little inch for the judges to vote against you, then you know. And mind you, there's more than it's at least 3 judges, right? So 5 judges. So yes, there's times where like I can't believe I lost, but you just gotta take in that loss. And the perfect example is Lilou. When he won in 2005, he battled 4 b-boys. Those b-boys was Hong Ten, Physics, myself, and Omar. And the year prior to that, we were all finalists. Me and Omar were the finalists at Red Bull BC1, Physics and Hong Ten were the finalists at the UK Champs. So we were the 4 that everyone was looking at, like one of them might win. And then Lilou came in and pretty much took all of us out. So that's a perfect example of just being undeniable, right? For all of you that haven't seen that competition, like he went in and just surprised everyone. You want to be that person. You want to be the dark horse. You want to be the underdog that just sweeps the whole competition away, yeah?
And he was injured.
And he had a broken finger. Fingers.
Cool. You got rocks on the end. I think Lilou was directing his answer to the 4 of y'all by saying your names. I just smoked them. I'm sorry.
And now we're all friends.
Until the music starts.
I think the idea of somebody having a name and people thinking they always win because of that, it's an easy cop-out on yourself. Because, like you said, most of the time we get held to higher standard, so any little mistake will cost us the battle, right?
Facts.
So as young up-and-comers, you guys got to work on your details. Everything matters. There's certain things that certain individuals that are up here that won titles and stuff like that, they carry a certain level of maturity in their style. And I think a lot of people that are younger nowadays don't understand that part of breaking. They're only focusing on the move. And they're only focusing on doing big moves. And they think that that's going to win the battle. When you have someone like Lilou come in and just have character and just beat you with character and musicality. And they're like, oh, that was, well, I don't get that. You know, a lot of people don't get that because they're young and they're just thinking of move, move, move. When this thing's about feeling and music and dance, you got to do all that. So whenever you enter a battle, study the person. Don't just say, oh, they just voted for him because he has a name. Like, study the dance.
Definitely. Great answers. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Lamgino from Germany. Hi. So my question is to you, based on the fact that I just came here from Germany and I'm fucked up jet lagged and I'm tired and still I want to compete. How do you guys manage that? Like, do you have like a life hack or something like that you personally do? Like I don't know. How do you do that? Like traveling so often and still competing at highest level?
Yeah, so I think my biological clock is dead, you know. So as I say, I fly 13 hours today, fly at noon, arrive at noon, came straight to the workshop. So now it's part of the life, you know. One day we are over there, and then we are there. This part of the globe, but it's part of the game. But of course, we need to take care of the body because it's our, you know, our tool of work, you know. So exactly, and now with the age, we're taking care more, but we have to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's getting used to that. And I think people got to realize that when we go overseas, like me and Ronnie or the guys from the States, when we go to Europe, that's hard. And, you know, they'll see you performing there. They see what we do, and, oh, you looked off. And yeah, I mean, I only slept like 3 hours, and I had to battle the top guys in the world the next night, you know? So one thing that I did realize does help is actually training at the time that you're going to battle overseas. So if you're going to come here, you're 6 hours back or 7 hours back, so you got to practice at the same time that the tournament starts here, but in your time zone. So if it's at 4 in the morning and you're really tired and you wake up and practice at 4 in the morning, at your most tired, if you're able to perform the moves that you can do, that means that when you're here and you're tired, you're still going to be able to do those moves, right? So that's something that I do, and I've always tried to do that when I'm going to battle overseas.
Yeah, so I'm always adding to what they're saying. So yeah, it's just conditioning mentally, and how he was saying getting adjusted and acclimated to the time zone. And the perfect example is someone like Hong Tan, right? Like you've seen him countless times go rounds after rounds, and just recently he battled in the Bronx and he won 20 rounds. And the night before that, he actually won 20 rounds around the same time that he was going to compete, or battled it, do the 20 rounds. So he's a perfect example of someone that has a regimen. So if you are that serious about competition and going overseas, then you do just that with nutrition, with sleep, and you really dive deep into these little, I guess you would say, disciplines, right? But then for us personally, yeah, we just deal with it, man. I think we just mentally prepare ourselves. Like obviously, Lilou got a schedule before he got here. He knew that he was gonna fly into the airport, go check into the hotel, do a workshop, take an hour break and then do a panel. So sometimes you just have to be mentally prepared for it. Next question.
Good answers, good answers. Coming back. Easy one. I'm gonna be a judge of that.
Are y'all gonna do another Red Bull? Any of y'all three?
No.
I would want to.
I'd have to think about it.
I will answer more deeply about this question. If we enter, or if I enter Red Bull BC1 World Final, you need to be prepared for that. And when I say be prepared, it's like structure, dedication, practice, how many hours. And now with the life we get, we don't, we cannot focus on that. I don't have this enough time to practice. If I want to enter BC1, I want to do nothing else than practicing and choose what the thing I can do. Now, like our life is too, and the goal is not there,
So the world of Red Bull BC1 has definitely evolved into what it is today, with all the ciphers, city ciphers, and the expectations is like here. When this competition first started in 2004, when myself and Iron Monkey and Omar and Bebe from Miami, we were the 4 representing USA. We got invited to this event, but we treated it like another battle because we were battling so much throughout the year. So we're like, oh, this one-on-one in Bill Switzerland? Yeah, we're down. And then every year from that point on, it just got bigger and bigger, and the pressure just got even greater. So I feel that back then, I guess the expectations wasn't as high as it is now. And to what Lilou was saying, if you really want to focus on winning an event like Red Bull BC1, it is like a sport where you actually have to take months off just to focus on that event alone. And there were times where we were touring and some of the all-stars competed and they didn't have enough time to rest. So it's like learning throughout those years, like, okay, so we need to take X amount of time off to prepare for this world competition. So it's a lot more professional now than it was back then.
Well said. Well said. Question here. Introduce yourself.
Good evening. Go by It's Your Boy Mucho. Yes, the whole thing. But change the direction real quick. What was your guys' favorite battle that you've been in?
Favorite jam, you mean, or battle?
That battle that you've been in, that you went against someone.
You mean as an individual?
I think me against Taisuke in 2013 in Korea, because it was a very hard one, and I have to fight against myself to win. I think it was one of my hardest and one of the craziest memory I get. For tell you the story behind, is because I win in 2009 in New York, so I was the first one who get 2 titles. I didn't compete in BC1 after that, and when I came back, 4 years after, 15 seconds after my first entrance, my shoes left.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, not now. So I was fighting to myself to, we breathe, get focused, and beat that guy. And it was like Taisuke, strong one, and everybody in the first round have crazy skills. So I was like, it was double fight for me. So that's why he's still on my mind.
I think for me, one of my favorite battles that I got to be a part of, well, there's a few, but the ones that stand out the most and I think changed my perspective in life on breaking was when I battled Crumbs at Breakmania in 1999. I was 17 years old and he was at the top of the game. And I took him into a tiebreaker in a one-on-one, and it was like an 8-round final. So that to me is one of those battles that really stood out, and it gave me confidence, and it made me believe in myself to a level that I didn't believe in at that time. And at the same time, I would say the prime Ultimate Cypher, when it was the East versus West, everybody that was there, that witnessed that, left that event inspired to the degree that many people try to recreate that moment. And to me, that's why it was such a valuable experience and most memorable battle for me.
I would say one of my most memorable battles wasn't a solo battle. It was with Battle Monkeys Full Force, basically Super Crew at Freestyle Session. I forgot which one it was, but it was at the Queen Mary, Long Beach. Epic competition, Freestyle Session for those of you that know what Freestyle Session is. It's like that's where you make your name, right? And we battled Rocksteady the first round. So there were so many different elements that made this battle so special. One, that's Rocksteady crew, some of the breaking OGs, Crazy Legs was there. Flea Rock was in this battle as well, repping Rocksteady, majority from the East Coast, we were kind of representing the West Coast, and I felt that battle was just so epic, and we ended up beating him. So that's why it was so memorable. So it's like a true underdog story, because even after that, Super Crew, we never really won anything big in the breaking game, right? We'd always make it far, or, oh, you guys got robbed. And the irony is, years after that, we ended up doing a big TV show called MTV's America's Best Dance Crew. And I felt that after we won that kind of changed the breaking game. Because soon after that, that's when we felt that, okay, the industry breaking kind of grew, So it's just the irony. You just stick to it, win or lose. Your time will come. Everyone will get their time to shine.
Nice. Well said. All right, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Maya, and I was wondering, what happens to you when you travel, or what happens with your background in life? How does it affect in your breaking? I'm making myself understood, or not? Or it's weird what I'm saying. I mean, you travel, you meet new people, you go to Asia, and you learn something about that place. Like, do you involve it to your breaking, or you just bam? Forget.
Yes, now I understand. Yes, by all the travel I do, I will not say influence my breaking, but for example, when I go more to Africa or to ASEAN, they have different vibes, different culture that influence my way of moving. Let's say the last 3 years I was a lot in Africa, and I'm from North Africa, so also to go there bring me back to my roots and to be more of that, and let's say influence me and make me more, my brain and my eyes and more bigger. Not only focus on breaking and only breaking move, to learn new culture, meet new people. When I go back to my home, it's I feel more rich than the other guys who don't travel and do, you know what I mean? Because you see a lot of different things.
Yeah, it gives us perspective on life. I think, I don't get necessarily the cultures inspired towards my breaking, but they give me perspective and influence and just give you an idea of something bigger. And you learn to appreciate different cultures and different walks of life because we get so used to living in our bubbles that when you go experience life, you go to India and you go to the slums, or you go to Brazil and you see the way people live, or you go even to Mexico and you see the way family lives. It just gives you perspective again to what matters most, and it's just inspiring. So definitely, I think it adds.
Yeah, Roxrite said it, just a greater appreciation. It's never changed my style, but when we get to travel, you see the love for the culture, for hip hop, and then we come back to America, and I just realize how blessed we all are, because in different countries, they don't get opportunities like this, So that's why I take advantage of these opportunities, for sure.
All right. Clap for me. Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is TK from Flavor, Florida, and I just wanted to ask you guys about one thing you guys like and don't like, new generation versus old generation, for each one of you guys.
We like and don't like in the new generation?
Versus old generation.
Answer it.
I like the skills of the new generation because the level is always go up, And what I don't like in the old generation. Ronnie's here. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, cameras off, please. Camera.
How you say? I will try to find my way in English. You know, the frustration. Sometimes some old guys can be. I don't know if it's the right one. You know, but if they don't have the recognition they want, you know. The ego, yes, maybe the ego, like we start this thing, it's us, blah blah blah, you know, and it's just like the evolution of things. So you know, I'm glad to see like a new generation with skills and stuff. It's good, but it's a hard one, my friend.
One thing you don't like something in that generation.
What I don't like about the new generation,
Say it in French and make them
no,
look it up
no,
in
in English. I think what I don't like in generation, they want to be here too fast. You know, I think is, you know, they just have 2 years of breaking. They wanna, yeah. Take your time. Don't go too fast here.
Very, very true. It's the patience, right? Because what took us maybe 10 years to accomplish, they want to do that in a quarter of the time, right? So that's what it is, the impatience. And the appreciation too, because you know a lot of them, like they take a lot so hard that they want to quit after breaking for 3, 4, 5 years. It's like, man, I didn't get a name for the first 10 years, and so it's one of those things where it's like the more time you invest into your craft, the longevity will remain there, and then the faster you try to blow up, the faster you end up disappearing. I don't know, but yeah, quality over quantity.
Confucius.
No. I think he said what we do and what we don't like about the new generation. Oh, what we do
New
like is
generation
exactly
versus
the
old.
newer generation is just like they pick up everything so quick, but also because now there's a structure, there's like a template. Because back when we were competing, judging competitions, it's like execution wasn't even a thing. It's like just as long as they wowed you, But now you slip up a little bit and that could jeopardize like a whole round, a whole battle. So I feel that now with the newer generation, because they kind of have like this blueprint that they're learning everything so quick. But then of course, like real talk, like to me, I do, it's the originality, because there's a point where, you could watch Out for Fame, and then you can see each crew kind of has their own identity, right? How Ground Zero came off, how Havoc Coro came off, and then Rhythm Bugs is just like every crew was like Fantastic Four, Avengers. You felt it, like every individual had like a superpower. But then now with the newer generation, it's like everyone could do everything, which is cool. I love it, but then it's harder to judge now because it's like, I don't know if any of that makes sense, but yeah.
They basically know everything. I mean, the older generation, I think, is just more of like you said, it's the ego, but also the self-entitlement when they left the game and they come back and they automatically expect to be remembered and recognized. I think it's unfair for the younger generation that doesn't know to be treated that way by elders that have been gone for many years, So that's one thing I didn't like about older generations even when I was coming up. Something I liked about them is how pure they were to the culture and how much they preserved the history and how much they preserved the style of the traditional format of breaking and passed it on. Because those guys that pass it on to a lot of us now, that's the reason it's still alive the way it is now, right? For the newer generation, I think, the new generation is just evolving so fast, picking everything up so quick, and it's dope to see. I noticed that some people really are going back to learning the history of it, so I think that's really dope. But I think that's also the opposite end, because I feel the younger generation starts to claim moves that they don't know no history about. They start calling bites like they invented something when a lot of us that have been around as long as we have, we've already seen it. So it's just funny to me that the information's all there. You can go back. We got a lot of footage nowadays from the 90s and even, from before. So I think it's just about being informed, being studious. A lot of people want to be students but don't really study. That's another thing. Everybody just wants the fame. And I think you really got to learn the game and the craft for what it really is if you really want to be in this for real. Because if you just want to be famous on IG or TikTok or whatever, it'll be short-lived.
Big ups, big ups. Well said. All right, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Fiwa from Austin. Been here for about 9 years, but I'm actually from Jersey. I was actually born in the Bronx.
Whoa.
But, yeah, not many people know that. But I got some questions for Lilou. What's your take on maybe like the b-boying culture from France before the USA started rolling up over there and all those gyms and stuff like that? I guess I'm talking about like the early 2000s, you know, things like that. B-boy world, you know. That's kind of the culture that we started up at. We were on B-boy world on the forums, you know, downloading all the videos, the battles, stuff like that. Style de Ouf, you know,
Style de Ouf, yeah.
that name. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, around 2000 in France, the breaking like pop up, and they have a lot of events. Now I think in France, the country where they have the most b-boy events. Every weekend they have like 3-4 events, different part of the. And yes, I think France and Europe became bigger than, you know, it started here. But after when you reach to Europe, I think Europe make let's say not business, but you know, make this thing like more bigger, more events. Every different country, different. Commercial. Yeah, different commercial. Germany was big, French was big. You know, Italia was big also, and they have so many crew and name who was coming up, and he was like happy to be part of the game, and not only US or Asia was shining, so also Europe was shining. And when you saw like all the biggest event was in US, you know, freestyle session and stuff, and after we have like Battle of the Year, then we have IBE and a lot of stuff, and everybody was coming to Europe, so it was like kind of fire over there.
Nice. My question. All right, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Grandmaster Bugsy. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I currently live in Austin. My question to you, for all three of you, first of all, respects. The question is, during the times you guys would get ready to battle, what would be your routines? Like, how would you get prepared to get into that mindset and just routine, basically, based?
To prep up, I mean, different times meant different ways of approaching this for competitions. I mean, when I was younger, I mean, all those years I built up from training and constantly practicing, all the hours that I put in, it was just second nature. So it was, when I first started going international and winning battles internationally, I had just practiced nonstop for years. So that just was like, okay, this is just another battle. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna smoke this fool, that fool. You had to have that mindset. You had to want it. If you didn't want it, then what was the point? You got to tell yourself that and believe that you really could do it. As time has progressed now, the tournaments have changed, the competition level has risen. People are approaching this more in an athletic format where they got to work out, they got to do stamina, you know, like cardio. They got to do all these different things to be able to be consistent and perform at such high levels. With this type of training, it's a little different because you do have to create a structure and sort of set up like months of preparation, right? So you got to practice for like 3 months specifically for this one battle, like Lilou was saying. If you wanted to do a BC1, he doesn't have the time for that no more. So when I did the certain events throughout the years now, I've been able to do that. I'll give myself a 3-month period to prep up for the next battles that I want to do. And that requires every other day, 4 to 5 days a week. And then I do a 3-week training sessions where it's 1 heavy week, 1 medium week, and 1 light week. And then I go again. And this way I try to make sure that the week I compete in is on the light week, because that's when my energy is coming back and I'll feel strong.
So same as Roxrite. No, me like the preparation is more mentally, because as I said, if you know your skills, you know your rank, you know what you can do, you know. And after it's only here. Also, if you're tired, if you fly overseas and you have only 3 hours sleep, you know, but you know you have the skills, but maybe not the energy, but you have your mind to push you, like, I can do it, as he said, like, you know, if you're ready to say, I will do it, you know. And if you take as percentage, for example, like BC1, they have 16 dancers, right? How many losers? 15. 1 winners. but you need to be ready that maybe you have more chance to be a loser than the winner, right? Because they have 15-1. But if you go and you get ready mentally to, I will do it and I will be the winner, you know, will make you change the whole way of your dancing, you know. And so I think I prepare more mentally.
Yeah, so again, I'm going to elaborate on what both of them are saying. I guess like in a big competition, I guess the main X factor is not the moves, right? And the execution is the conviction. So sometimes someone will go in there, and for the most part, if it is a world championship competition, the judges kind of know every single, for the most part, knows who all the b-boys are. And the b-boy that sticks out the most is usually the person that wants it the most, or that is just showing it, and you know, that has that spirit, and that's an X factor. So sometimes it goes beyond just the moves. Because you could execute all day, and the level that high, everyone's going to hit their moves. But it's like, what's going to put them, or what's going to separate them from the rest? And it's that breaking spirit, that conviction, like, I want it. When Roxrite won in Moscow, and mind you, I've been to every single World Finals, so I'm behind the scenes watching everyone like train. I'm like, okay, this person looks, they're probably going to get knocked out the first round. And then you see the people that are like, all right, this person's focused, or this person's going to make it far. And a good example was Lilou, before he won the World Final, we were in Korea, right? And he was so excited that he beat Nagin the first round. And Lilou went up to him, he's like, man, that's just the first round. You need to focus on the second battle. So it's like moments like that where you know like where people's mind is at. Are they just trying to get through the first round? Or are they trying to win the whole competition? And sometimes you could feel and see it. It's kind of crazy, you know?
Nice, nice. All right, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Ojitos. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico. And I want to ask you guys if, have you ever, whatever your purpose, like your deep purpose of battling and keep being in the game, you know, active, have you ever lost it? Have you ever lost purpose in some way? And if you did, how did you came back? How did you gain back that purpose?
We are human for myself, so of course sometimes it's like this, you know, when you put too much intention to a competition and then you lose, you know, in the first round, so you only dance 3 rounds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, right? For 1 round, it's kind of 30 seconds. So you practice 1 year and you lose in the first round. It means you dance 1 minute 30 on that stage, and then you have to go back and wait 1 year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So of course sometimes you lose motivation, something happened in your life and stuff, but you need to keep the flame. And you know, I don't know what to say, but I was like, if you remember why you're breaking, you know, if you have like problem in your life or you are good in your life, we see it when you dance. That's why we say it's a way of expression, you know. And if you want to keep the motivation, just go back to practice, remember why you start, and it will become back again.
What was the question again? Okay, what's the question? Well, how do you stay motivated?
Yeah. Have you ever lost the purpose?
Oh, lost?
I mean,
oh man, not for competition, because like I said, even during the workshop, that was never my main motivation. And like Lilou was saying, just remember why you started. And when you really go back to breaking wasn't, you know, it was an art form more than it was a sport. Now there's like, it's a hybrid, right? People really focus on tournaments and competition, but that's not why people were doing it back in the day. You know, a lot of times when you go out, you know, whether or not it was a party or a jam, people would be ciphering, you'd be battling. It wasn't who won or who lost, you know, maybe who could go the most rounds. So when you really look at the essence of breaking, it wasn't always about winning, right? It was about like the experience. So I felt that that's what kept me motivated, and also like diversifying the dance, because it wasn't about just, you know, creating for one-on-ones. You know, you had crews, you were able to do shows, you were able to teach workshops, you were able to just vibe out, and you know, so there's so many different avenues with breaking outside of just competition. So maybe that will save your sanity, like if you're not just trying to compete but try to do other things, you know. And I know we've all kind of done more than just battle. Like, you know, we've done more with breaking, and that's what's so cool about breaking. It's not just about the competition aspect of it.
Well said.
So I think everybody loses purpose at certain points in their breaking. I think when you over practice so much and you get so consumed by it, eventually certain things change in life, and that can influence your dance. I lost purpose around 2000, 2001. I wasn't feeling my dance anymore. I got lost in between getting information from people I looked up to and taking the information the wrong way and trying to implement it in a way that took away from my personal approach and my style. And I think that every b-boy kind of goes through that, or b-girl, they get a point where they kind of max out at what they're learning, and then they try to find different people to put them on to different game and different knowledge. And sometimes they get too caught up trying to be what they're teaching you. And through that, that's how I got lost, and I felt like I wasn't really feeling my dance anymore. But to re-find it, I had to go back, and luckily I had been recording myself practice since I was, since the beginning actually. I have footage of me in 95 breaking all the way through the 90s, so I got lucky to find the tape where I was just free. Like, I was just practicing and having a good time, and it just inspired me. It triggered my feeling again of what it felt like to be there that day in that backyard on a linoleum with no crowd, right? And that's when I found my purpose again, because it was like, this is why you break it, this is the way that you break. So I think, to me, that's what really triggered that. And throughout time, you lose purpose again. It's just different things. It's part of the game, part of life. But I think you gotta really study this craft and study yourself as to why you do this. What is it that you want out of this? Do you want to be sponsored? Do you want to go be on TV? I mean, do you want to be a backup dancer? You gotta ask what you want out of it. And I think once you get that answer for yourself, then you find the reasoning as to how you're gonna approach this as you move on.
Y'all give it up, give it up. First and foremost, you guys all, I want to thank all of y'all for attending the panel. I mean, it's not always you get a chance live to get a chance to see people of this stature, of the limits that they've tested, the journeys they've taken, and being able to talk to them and speak freely and have them actually speak freely to you guys. This is something that the generations we have right here in this room, right here in Austin and abroad that have come here today to participate in this weekend, you guys should all cherish these times. I mean, it's a melting pot anytime you go to a jam, but to sit for a panel like this is something that you may or may not ever do again. So if you didn't get a chance to ask your question, tough. But they will be here during the weekend, but understand this is what this time is for. And just know that somebody today will go home knowing that they are in the right place, they chose the right craft, they're gonna pursue their talent because they got a chance to be involved with the people in this room and the people that are part of this panel. But as we are right now, one whole, one love, one family, let's all give these gentlemen a round of applause.
Thank you.